So what if you were to drive down the freeway using a strategy similar to the way most people live their lives? Well, if you did that, if you're driving down the freeway at 70 miles an hour on the interstate and you used the same strategy for dealing with your driving that most people use for dealing with their lives, you'd crash. Yeah, you'd be dead within a few minutes. You'd be crushed underneath the wheels of an 18-wheeler. You'd run head-on into a bus coming the other way. You'd crash and burn if you tried to use the strategy that most people use when living their lives. And what is that? Well, first of all, what is a successful strategy for driving on the freeway? You've got to pay attention to what is going on right then and there. You can't drive based on what was going on yesterday on that freeway. You can't drive based on the fact that maybe in 5 years they're going to add 2 lanes to the freeway. You know, if you're driving down a 4-lane freeway and it's going to be 8 lanes someday, but you just go ahead and drive it just like it was already 8 lanes where you're going to run off into a cow pasture. So you can't do that. You've got to pay attention to where this truck is right now, where that motorcycle is right now, where this minivan is right now. And you've got to respond to that and make allowances. And that is how you successfully get where you're going at a high rate of speed on the interstate. Now, to get where you're going in life, you got to use the similar strategy. You have to pay attention. You have to deal with the reality of right now. You can't wish that things were different. If you're on the freeway, if you wish that this line of trucks was not in front of you, you can't drive based on that wish because you'll run right into that truck. You can't wish for things to be different and successfully navigate the situation as it is. And it's the same in life. It's the same in everything in life. And you can't live in the past either. If you're driving down the freeway, you can't think, well, gosh, last night there was hardly any cars at all on the freeway. But, you know, now it's full. You can't drive like it was last night. You can't live like it was 5 years ago. You can't keep bringing up the fact that your parents abused you. You can't keep wishing that things are different. You can't keep, oh, I wish that my boss wasn't so demanding. Well, it is what it is, and you deal with it. You deal with the situation as it is. It may not be pleasant. It's not pleasant to get stuck in a traffic jam. It's not pleasant, but the way out of that traffic jam is not to complain about it. That's not going to get you anywhere. The way out is to deal with it, is to slow down, is to find an alternate route. If I was driving up to Dallas and they had the road blocked, I'm not going to turn around and come home. I'm not going to say, oh, well, I was going to go to Dallas, but they had the road blocked, so I just turned around and came home. No, there's another road. I exit, I take a detour, I find another way to get there. It may not have been my preferable way, but it works. It got me there. And that's the same thing. That's the same way with anything. You know, there's all sorts of excuses that you can have for anything you want to do. Anything. And things will come up. Problems, challenges, obstacles in your path. And you can't just say, well, you know, I was gonna publish my book, but somebody else published one just like it. And so I'm not going to do it. Well, no. Here's what you do. You make yours unique. You make yours even more valuable. Driving on a freeway is a very good exercise in dealing with reality. Because if you don't deal with the reality going 70 miles an hour, you're not going to last very long. You've got to successfully deal with what is, not with what you wish it to be, not with how it used to be, not with how it's going to be, but what is now. And deal with it. And the next time you're driving on the interstate at a high speed, think about that. Think about that. Think about what you're doing. You're able to do that. You're able to successfully, because you haven't killed yourself in a car, you're able to successfully drive on the interstate at a high rate of speed and get where you want to go. No matter what may happen. If they got construction, if they got an accident, if they've got heavy traffic, if it rains, if it snows, if it turns to ice, you can still get there. You've done it lots of times. And so translate that into everything in your life. Deal with the situation as it is, and you can get there.